Welcome to Noma Nights.
In a quiet village, hidden between soft green hills and gentle flowing rivers, there lived a man named Joseph. Joseph was known for something rather unusual. He was always thinking about strange ideas, ideas that made people smile and sometimes laugh quietly, because Joseph believed that one day he would discover something truly great, something no one had ever found before. But Joseph had a small problem. He never finished what he started. One day, he wanted to build a flying chair. The next day, he forgot about it. Another day, he tried to invent a machine to talk to birds, but halfway through, he got bored and moved on to something else. The villagers liked Joseph, but they often said, "He dreams too much," and Joseph would smile and reply softly, "Dreams are the beginning of everything." One evening, as the sun slowly disappeared, Joseph sat alone, watching the sky. The wind was moving softly through the trees, and suddenly an idea came to his mind. "What if," he whispered, "what if I could catch the wind?" The idea felt important. Strange, but important. "If I catch the wind," he said, "I could understand it. And if I understand it," he continued, "maybe I will understand everything." The next morning, Joseph woke up early, very early. He took a jar, a net, and a long rope, and walked outside with determination. Today, he would catch the wind. He ran across the fields, trying to trap the wind, but every time he tried to close the jar, there was nothing inside. He tried again, and again, and again. A farmer watched him from a distance and slowly shook his head. "What are you doing, Joseph?" he asked gently. Joseph smiled and said, "I am catching the wind." The farmer paused, then quietly said, "Good luck." Hours passed. The sun climbed higher. Joseph became tired, but he refused to stop, because for the first time he felt he might finish something. As evening came, Joseph sat quietly, holding his empty jar. He looked inside. Nothing, just silence and wind, still moving freely. For the first time, Joseph did not feel disappointed. He felt curious. Maybe the wind was not something to catch. Maybe it was something to feel. He closed his eyes and listened. The night slowly arrived. The sky turned dark, and the stars began to appear. Joseph remained sitting exactly where he was, not moving, not thinking too much, just listening. The wind moved softly around him, touching his face, passing through his hair, and for the first time, he did not try to catch it. He simply allowed it to pass. A quiet feeling began to grow inside him, a feeling he had never noticed before. It was not excitement, not curiosity. It was something softer, something calm. "Maybe," he whispered quietly, "not everything in life is meant to be captured. Some things," he continued slowly, "are meant to be experienced." The next morning, Joseph walked back to the village, carrying the same jar, still empty, but somehow he did not feel empty. The villagers saw him, and one of them asked, "So, Joseph, did you catch the wind?" Joseph smiled, a soft, quiet smile. He lifted the jar, looked inside, and said, "Yes, I caught it." The villagers leaned closer, trying to see, but of course, there was nothing. They looked at Joseph, then at each other, and slowly, some of them smiled, because somehow they understood. From that day, Joseph changed. Not completely, but gently. He still had ideas, but now he followed them with patience. He no longer rushed. He no longer jumped from one idea to another. He learned to stay, to continue, to finish, and sometimes he would sit just like before, doing nothing, listening to the wind. Years later, people would remember Joseph, not as the man who caught the wind, but as the man who finally understood it. In life, we often try to hold on, to control, to capture, but some things, like the wind, like peace, like happiness, cannot be held. They can only be felt. So, take a deep breath and let everything slow down, because sometimes the moment you stop chasing is the moment you finally